Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, E-Steam Goddess of. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a demonic dominatrix in this action-packed all-new E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Goddess of in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. The Netflix extension of the Marvel Cinematic Universe started out with a pow when it debuted, and it ends on a whimper with Jessica Jones Season 3. And it's sad to see the end of not only the Netflix extension of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but to see the complete decline in quality as related to the Netflix extension of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, when the Netflix extension of the Marvel Cinematic Universe began almost 4 years ago, we got adaptations of Marvel's darker and grittier comics like Daredevil, Luke Cage, The Punisher, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones that were almost just like comic books come to life. However, as these adaptations began to build into the Defenders series, the entire Netflix series started to decline. And this decline started with Iron Fist and then segued into the complete collapse in the Defenders, is one of the reasons why Netflix decided to cancel all of these Netflix series. And it's really sad to see those series go, because when I look at the Netflix extension of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there was still a lot of promise there. Unfortunately, things were undone due to Kevin Feige's issues with Netflix and due to the complete social justice narrative continuing to be pushed by Netflix producers. And with Jessica Jones Season 3, we see a complete pushing of this social justice narrative in an attempt to try to deconstruct the Jessica Jones character for viewers. And in this attempt to give us a deconstructed Jessica Jones, we are supposed to be given over 13 episodes a reason for why Jessica Jones is a hero, what motivates her to be a hero, and why we should care about her being a hero. Unfortunately, due to the writers not really understanding on how to deconstruct a hero, they give us a very sloppy and jumbled story over the course of 13 episodes, where the series picks up off at the end of Season 2, where Jessica Jones is starting to try to find a new direction for her life. And in this attempt to find a new direction for her life, as we're trying to get this redefinition of Jessica Jones, we get, in contrast, your Trish Walker, who has always aspired to be a hero and has gone through unethical means to get these powers of this character that she was in the Marvel Comics, the Hellcat. And in this attempt to try to show, through Trish Walker, the difference between what makes a hero and a villain, again, we get an extremely sloppy deconstruction of the Trish Walker character and her motivations for being a hero. And those motivations, over the course of 13 episodes, are meant to show us why she's a villain. Unfortunately, due to the poor execution of Jessica Jones Season 3, it's hard to see that story come to life on the page in a way that a viewer can follow it. Now, Jessica Jones' big problem in the first episode was it was chock-filled with exposition, and it was chock-filled with characters that were hard to connect with. Moreover, there really was not a clear antagonist to really drive the story. The Trish Walker character really didn't get the development she needed to really come across as a villain, and the Salinger character, he just feels like a cardboard cutout of every psycho killer villain. And the twist in the story of the second episode, where Jessica gets stabbed, it really does not really make us care about Jessica, nor does it make us care about her mission as a hero. And it's hard to care about the Jessica Jones character because she really comes across as really flat. and really bland. And then she also does not really makes it us care about her because she's just so mean and nasty. And that's a big problem with the Jessica Jones character, not just from the producers of this show, but I believe it had to do with her initial creation from your Brian Michael Bendis. Your Brian Michael Bendis, when he created Jessica Jones, really didn't give her much layers and didn't give her much depth. He just gave us this really flat, one-dimensional character, and he put her in this dark and gritty world. And this dark and gritty world isn't really filled with any sort of people that we want to connect with or care about in the way we would in a Quentin Tarantino movie, where Quentin Tarantino oftentimes would give us these low-life, degenerate characters, but he would give them these great human traits that would make us connect with them, identify with them, and relate to them like we did in films like Pulp Fiction and Jackie Brown. We don't get any of that texture with Jessica Jones, and that's what makes it hard to really care about her after she gets stabbed by this mysterious person who stabs her in the second episode. Now, over the course of these episodes, we're taking on this weak mystery where Jessica is trying to find out who stabbed her, and the story really never comes together in a cohesive fashion that makes us really get intrigued to find out who is this killer, why they are dangerous. Again, the Salinger character, he feels like some sort of cardboard cutout killer, and we don't really connect with him and see his threat to others or see his threat to the city. That's the big problem with Jessica Jones, is that we don't really get that big antagonist that makes us really feel like Jessica has to use her powers to stop this person from being a credible threat. The Salinger character, he's dangerous, but he doesn't really meet the standard for a superpowered private investigator. And the Trish Walker character, as she develops over the course of the third season, she turns into this kind of threat, but we don't really see the organic development of her, where Jessica is really conflicted about her relationship with Trish, conflicted about Trish's mission, or conflicted about the threat that Trish is to others. I mean, the story between Jessica and Trish that ended in season 2, where Trish killed Jessica's mother, there was a great building point there to show the start of Trish Walker's depravity, but we really didn't get any sort of organic development as related to it, because the writers here they were so busy giving us expository sequences about Trish training, which we already saw in season 1 and we saw in season 2, that they didn't really develop it even further for season 3. And the reason why they didn't develop it for season 3 is because the writers at Netflix were so caught up in pushing identity politics in the story that they didn't have any room for plot or character development, the things that would have driven the story. No, they were too busy trying to shoehorn LGBT characters into the Jessica Jones season 3 to push their diversity agenda and social justice agenda, that they weren't focused on really developing characters like Trish or Jessica and giving them the story that they needed. And that was the big problem with Jessica Jones season 3, and I really did not like seeing that identity politics in the story, because it took away from what could have been a very compelling mystery. I mean, I always saw the Salinger character as a bit of a red herring, but because the writers didn't really develop things, what happened was the Trish character, who should have been the villain of the story, didn't really get the chance to actualize her potential. Moreover, there were supporting characters who wound up devolving over the course of season 3. It really disgusted me to see what was done to Malcolm in season 3, because in season 2, we saw Malcolm getting himself together, Malcolm starting to take the lead in his own life, and Malcolm starting to set a direction in his own life. And over the course of season 3, we get a regression of Malcolm, and Malcolm turns into this completely emasculated beta male like he was in season 1 and season 2, and he starts dealing with a prostitute, and that's when I really got disgusted. You'd have this black man who is starting to become strong and masculine, and instead of you trying to continue to push him as a strong masculine black man, we get an emasculation of your Malcolm, who in the show, throughout several of the episodes, is really starting to show his strength by getting involved with this lawyer at the law firm, a black woman, and we're going to see this story of black on black love. But then we get this self-hatred where Malcolm gets involved with this grimy white female mentally disturbed prostitute, and then he decides to let the white female prostitute live with him as he returns to his old beta male Captain Save-'em ways. And when he returns to these beta male Captain Save-'em ways, that's when I start to shake my head regarding Jessica Jones season 3, because it shows me how racist identity politics are as related to this show, because we get the emasculated Malcolm playing Captain Save-'em, and Malcolm was a clear positive image of a black man, but because your SJWs are racist, they decide to tear him down. Moreover, they give Jessica Jones a receptionist in another effort to emasculate black masculinity and black manhood, again showing us that social justice is just another form of racism. And it's that social justice that really takes away from Jessica Jones season 3, and it really prevents this show from becoming anything solid. I mean, this series, it was already hampered by an underdeveloped character, and it was also hampered by a whole 2 seasons of incredibly bad stories. And this 3rd season really starts to fall apart, because instead of us getting a really solid story, we get SJW tropes brought to the screen. Everything from the evil white male to the head trauma, and all of the tropes of your SJW comics, they all come to life in Jessica Jones season 3, and they lead to an extremely disappointing viewing experience for your Netflix viewers. And again, it's really sad to see the entire Netflix extension of the Marvel Cinematic Universe end on Sancho Whimper, because when you think about how great Daredevil seasons 1 through 3 were, and the masterpiece that Daredevil season 3 was, and the masterpiece that Luke Cage season 1 and season 2 were, in comparison to what we got with the Iron Fist and Defenders and Jessica Jones, it's really sad to see all of that promise get lost, because there were all the elements of crafting a extremely solid series of programs with Netflix. I mean, when I look at, again, shows like your Daredevil seasons 1, 2, and that masterpiece season 3, Luke Cage's masterpiece 2 seasons, The Punisher's amazing 1st season, and see comic books coming to life on screen for 13 episodes, and seeing these characters as they were originally intended to be, these dark, gritty urban heroes brought to life. And I think about the disappointing Jessica Jones season 3. I think about all that potential that was lost, all that promise that was lost, because there were all the elements there to make some great series on Netflix. Unfortunately, because your Kevin Feige doesn't like Netflix's producers and the TV division, and your Netflix producers are caught up in pushing social justice on their platforms, we didn't get those great stories, or continue to get those great stories that were true to the source material of the comics, or give us that heart and soul of the comics we got in Daredevil season 3, Luke Cage season 2, and Punisher season 1. We didn't get that anymore. And again, all the elements were there for success And it's just a shame to see the Marvel Cinematic Universe extension of Netflix's superheroes end on a whimper when it could have gone out with a bang. If you'd like to try some of my SJS Direct heroes, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the Spinsterella trilogy, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com in the description box. There you can find the heroes of the SJS Direct universe in paperback and Kindle formats. And if you want to help me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.